While I'm coloring, let me answer a question I get a lot. Why don't I use the Loomis method when I draw? Honestly, the answer is simpler than you think. I really respect the method, and I know how strong and important it is, but my drawing style is just different. I love relying on observation, on that moment when the facial features slowly start to appear under my hand, without following strict geometric steps. The Loomis method creates a standard, idealized head shape, and that's great for learning, but I'm always looking for real features. Those tiny differences that give a person their character. A slight tilt in the eye, a small curve in the lips, a subtle angle in the jaw. These details often get lost when I follow a fixed template, and personally, I like starting with very simple marks. A soft shadow here, a slight curve there, a light line to place the eye or the tip of the nose. These steps might look random from the outside, but they give me more freedom and bring me closer to the person I'm drawing. At the end of the day, drawing isn't one rule or one path. Every artist has their own way, the way that makes them feel comfortable and brings out their best work. And my way, the one built on feeling and observation, is what gives me my best results. That doesn't mean the Loomis method is wrong. Not at all. It works perfectly for a lot of people, but it's simply not the best fit for me. What really matters is that every artist finds the method that feels true to them, the one that makes them enjoy the drawing even more. And now, I'd like to share the true story of my journey with drawing, a story that started from a fleeting moment but, over time, grew into something much bigger, something that completely changed my life. A story that began without any planning, just a simple moment at school, an ordinary moment like any other day, and it kept growing with every piece of paper and pen I held in my hand. Let me start from the beginning, from the moment I realized that drawing was not just a hobby, not just a passing activity to do in free time. No, drawing became an inseparable part of my life, a part that expresses me more than any word could, a part that reflects my emotions, thoughts, and even my dreams and fears. Drawing became a tool to understand myself and communicate with the world in a way I never imagined before. The first time I tried to draw, I was in an Arabic language class. I was sitting in my seat, focused on the lesson, but my mind wandered a little, and suddenly I found myself holding a pen and starting to draw on the edge of my paper. The teacher was explaining a lesson about the human body, and she was drawing a girl on the board, labeling every part: hand, fingers, neck, eye, mouth. Everything was written carefully to teach us how to draw each part accurately. But honestly, I wasn't convinced by her way of drawing. I felt that the drawing on the board was technically beautiful, but it wasn't enough for me. It lacked something. It lacked feeling. It lacked a personal touch. So, I started drawing on my notebook. I drew a different girl, one I thought was more beautiful, in my own unique way. I was trying to reflect my feelings, my movements, and my personal perspective of the world. I didn't know that this moment would become a real turning point in my life. When I finished the drawing, the teacher walked around the class to see all the students' drawings, and when she stopped at mine, she smiled and said to me, "I will call you an artist from now on." I couldn't describe my feelings. Overwhelming joy, a sense of recognition, a feeling of confidence entering my heart for the first time. A feeling that I could make an impact, a feeling that I could express myself in a special way, a feeling that opened the door to a long dream I hadn't even known yet. From that day, I started drawing every day. Even if the drawing wasn't perfect, even if no one saw anything in it, I felt that every line I drew, every color I added, every sheet I filled with colors and lines brought me a step closer to my dream. The beginning was simple, but it was real, the beginning that opened the door to a long journey that is still ongoing. I drew everything: faces, nature, animals, even things from my imagination. And over time, every small drawing taught me something new. How to use shadow, blend colors, control facial details, and even express emotions. Of course, anyone who has learned to draw has gone through a difficult phase. The phase where you feel stuck, where all your effort seems invisible, and people around you are progressing faster than you. I personally went through a long period of frustration. I would look at my work and ask myself, why am I not progressing? Why isn't my drawing developing as I want? A feeling of frustration, sometimes laziness, envy of others. But over time I understood that all the drawings I thought were failures, all the attempts I saw as weak, were teaching me more than any successful drawing ever could. Every wrong line taught me patience, every experiment increased my experience, every color I added incorrectly brought me a step closer to understanding how to express myself. I remember the first time someone criticized my drawing. That day I was very upset. I felt like all my effort was wasted, like my whole dream was shaking. But after a while, I understood that criticism was not against me. Criticism was a way to improve myself, learn patience, organize my thoughts, and understand light and shadow better. Patience. Patience was the most important skill I gained from drawing because it taught me to continue even when results weren't immediately visible. Patience also taught me to accept failure as part of the journey, to learn from it rather than be discouraged, and to use every small experience to grow to a certain moment. I felt a real shift. I was drawing a horse with colored pencils, and every hand movement, every color, every shadow, every detail, I was fully focused on. I felt that every part of the drawing was telling a story, and every color added life to the whole work. When I photographed the piece and posted it on Facebook, it received a huge response. For the first time after years of posting average-level drawings, I felt that my effort was starting to show, and that real progress comes suddenly, after a long hidden effort, but its impact is clear in the long run. That moment was a confirmation for me. Every moment of patience, every day of drawing, every experience has value and impact. From drawing, I learned so many things. The 3 most important lessons I want to share are: 1. Everything takes time. No one is born a professional. Every artist has their own journey, and every journey requires patience and effort. It's important to know that every small step brings you closer to your dream. 2. Art is not about comparison. Everyone has a different path, their own way, their own feeling, their own method of expression. Comparing yourself to others can make you lose your passion, but focusing on yourself allows you to grow and learn naturally. 3. Every line you draw, every hand movement, every color you add, every detail brings you a step closer to your dream, a step closer to your feeling, a step closer to your message. It doesn't matter if the drawing is perfect or not. What matters is the experience itself, the journey itself, learning from every experience and continuing to improve your skills. If you're still at the beginning, believe me, it's natural to make mistakes, to fall behind, to feel you're not the best. But the most important thing is never to stop. Every experience, every drawing, every attempt, even if it fails, is a step forward, a step to learning something new, a step to developing yourself. I also went through periods of frustration. I would see others' works, compare myself to them, and feel like time was passing while I wasn't progressing. But over time I understood that every artist has their own journey, and comparison is just an illusion. It makes you step back from your dream. What matters is focusing on yourself, your work, and your daily small steps, which grow and show results over time. Drawing taught me patience, focus, and perseverance. And it also taught me other things. Creativity is not just in lines and colors. Creativity is also in patience, facing failure, learning from criticism, and discovering yourself. Every drawing, even if it wasn't perfect, was part of my journey, part of my personality, part of my dream that is still ongoing. Every small detail I added taught me how to be more precise, how to observe the world around me, how to focus on emotions, and how to make the artwork come alive. In the end, after all the effort, after every failure, after every drawing I didn't like, I can say the journey itself is what teaches you, not just the final result. Every painting, every color, every hand movement, every experience is part of your life story, part of the art that expresses you. And every time I stand in front of a painting, I feel a part of me being freed, a part of me expressing itself, a part of me discovering itself. Art, for me, is not just work, it is life, a way to express, a language without words, a space where I find myself and share my feelings and thoughts with the world. This has been my journey with drawing, a journey that is still ongoing, growing with every new drawing, teaching me more than any book or lesson could. And every time I stand in front of a painting, I feel a part of me being freed, a part of me expressing itself, a part of me discovering itself. I hope that anyone who loves drawing or has a passion for any art knows that the journey itself is valuable, and that every learning moment, every artistic experience, every line, every color, is part of developing themselves, part of expressing their essence, part of their ongoing dream. And if you liked the video, tell me, what would you like me to share next while drawing or coloring? Thank you for your time. And here is the final portrait. And always remember, art is not just a final goal, art is a journey. A long, enjoyable journey full of experiences, learning, emotions. A journey worth every moment. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.